Hello students. So e video now I'll be discussing about trigonometry. So I'll discuss some of the concepts of trigonometry which is required for competitive platform, and also I'll be solving some problems for from competitive level examinations. Sarina. So before going into the topic, what I would just want to say is whatever concepts I'll be discussing, it's more focused for competitive level preparation only. Okay now, and I will not be discussing some of the concepts which is already there in your board syllabus. Board syllabus the details na, I will not go in detail. Competitive platform gain beko, those types of concepts will be discussed. So first thing, whenever an angle is formed between two arms, we know that angle is formed between two arms, and wherever the two arms meet is going to be called as the vertex, the common vertex. So the angle which is measured, it can either be measured in this direction. Here in this case, I'm showing what anti-clockwise direction. I'm measuring the angle in the anti-clockwise direction. Adhe tara, if I have the two arms in this manner, I can also measure the angle in clockwise direction. Sarina? So what is the difference? Yake ಬೇಕು ನಮಗೆ? Why should we understand anti-clockwise and clockwise direction? Whenever I measure the angle in the anti-clockwise direction, here in this case, the angle theta is considered to be positive. Adhe tara, if I measure the angle in the anti-clockwise direction, clockwise direction, the angle theta is considered to be negative. Yake hinge? It's a convention which is followed. Convention andre eno? We know that whenever we draw x-axis and y-axis, this is considered to be the positive x-axis and this is considered to be the negative x-axis. Same way, positive y-axis, negative y-axis. What is this? This is a convention which is followed. Adhe tara angle measurement madbekadru kuda, depending on whether I'm measuring it in anti-clockwise or clockwise, we'll consider theta, or we'll say that theta is positive or negative. This is the first thing that you need to know. Now, whenever I'm measuring angles, so there are various or different types of measurements. So types of measurement. First type of measurement system. Different types of measurement system ಇದೆ. Sarina? Like how you have in physics. SI unit system ಇದೆ, MKS system ಇದೆ, FPS system ಇದೆ. Correct ಅಲ್ಲ? Foot pound second. Yeah, and MKS. Different types of measurement units, measuring systems ಹೇಗಿದೆ. ಅದೇ ತರ angle ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ we have different types of measurement systems. So the first one I'll be discussing is gonna be called as hexadecimal measure. Hexadecimal measurement system. So ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ hexadecimal measurement system ಅಂದ್ರೆ, let me take a circle. So let me take a circle. Now, is it obvious that can I divide the circle into 4 equal parts? Yes, it is possible that I can divide the circle into 4 equal parts. And when I divide the circle into 4 equal parts, we clearly know that each part is nothing but equivalent to a right angle. It is nothing but equivalent to a right angle. Correct Allah? Now what we'll do is I will divide. What if I divide each of this right angle? Yavado one right angle tagotine. I will divide this right angle into 90 equal parts. 90 ತೋರ್ಸಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. I'm just showing that I can divide it into what? 90 equal parts. So if I keep dividing in this way, if I divide this right angle into 90 equal parts, again each part will be called as a degree. Each part is called as a degree. So that is the measurement of 1 degree. On the right angle na 90 equal parts part ನಾನು, if I bifurcate it, if I distribute it, each part will be called as degree. Again, this degree, say for example 1 degree ಇಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. This is not 1 degree, I'm just telling you. Again, this 1 degree, if I divide this 1 degree into 60 equal parts again, then each of these parts will be called as a minute. Each of this part is called as a minute. First ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ? 90 degrees ನಾನು 90 parts ಮಾಡಿದೆ, 90 equal parts ಮಾಡಿದೆ. Each part was called as 1 degree. Next ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ? I'm taking each degree, I'm dividing it into 60 parts or 60 equal parts, and each part is called as what? 1 minute. So 1 degree ನಾನು, I will represent it like this. 1 degree is this. 1 minute representation will be like this. Sarina? Now, if this minute is again divided into 60 equal parts, then I get what? Each part will be called as 1 second. This is gonna be 1 second. So this is the first way of measuring angles, first system. So which means if I say, I can write some angle as say 42 degrees, 36 minute, 53 seconds. To be precise about any kind of measurement, we represent it in this manner. You have to keep in mind this numbers, minutes and seconds, they cannot go beyond 60. Yeah, okay, because they have 60 parts only. But what about my degree? It can go till 90 degree. I'm just talking about the first quadrant. So this is one type of measurement, sexagesimal measurement. Next type of measurement system is gonna be centesimal. Centesimal measuring system. Centesimal measure. Cent andre eno? We know that cent andre 100 in English. Allah? So centesimal system alli enagutte. Same way I will take what? I will take a circle. And what will I do to this circle? I will divide this circle into 4 equal parts. I will divide this circle into 4 equal parts or 4 equal quadrants. Now what about each quadrant? Each quadrant is again a right angle. Right angle again ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. Each right angle, one right angle or 190 degree 90 degree is divided into 100 equal parts. When I divide this into 100 equal parts, in the previous case we divided into what? 90 equal parts, and each part was called as a degree. That was for sexagesimal measuring system. 100 equal parts age divide ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ each part will be called as a grade. Each part is called as what? It's called as a grade. Now what will I do? Each grade ಹೀಗೆ represent ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. I'll write the representation also. This is nothing but one grade. Each grade is again divided into 100 equal parts, and here each part is again called as a minute. It's again called as a minute. Again 1 minute is again divided into 100 equal parts, where each part will be called as a second. ಈ minute ಮತ್ತೆ second ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, it's commonly used for both the systems. But how do we bifurcate, or how do we figure out which system we are talking about? If the system is starting with grade, 5 grades, ಈ ಥರ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. 13 grade, 12 minute, 78 seconds andre, from this we figure out whether I'm talking about centesimal system or degree system, which is the sexagesimal system. So this is the second unit system. Sarina? The third one is gonna be called as it's a universal system. It is called as what? It is called as, it is called as radian measure, or it is also called as circular measure. So circular measure or radian measure. This is what? This is a universal measuring system. Sarina, this is what we commonly use. Angle ge SI unit. How do we measure angle, or what is the measurement of angle in SI units andre? We don't tell degree is the unit. We tell radians is the degree. So ಏನು radian? Let's try to understand. Now let me take a circle. ಈಗ one circle ತಗೊಂಡು what I will do is, I'll take a circle. It is very obvious that the circle has a certain radius. Correct ಅಲ್ಲ? ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಒಂದು radius ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಒಂದು radius ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Now let me say that the radius is r units. ಈಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ? I'll keep the compass here. I will draw an arc, or I will cut an arc whose measurement is equal to r units. Say r 5 centimeter idre, I will cut an arc of 5 centimeter. I hope you understood. Sarina? So I will cut an arc, and what about this arc length? The arc length is also going to be r units. What next? When the arc length is again r units, I will join wherever I've cut the arc. I will join wherever the arc is being cut. Now the angle subtended at the center, by the radius r and an arc whose arc length is r is gonna be called as 1 radian. This is how we represent it. So this is gonna be the representation. I call it as what? I call it as 1 radian. I repeat, what's the definition? What's the definition of a radian? In a circle whose radius is r, if I cut an arc whose arc length is r, which is equal to the radius of the circle, the angle subtended at the center of the circle has nothing but the measurement of 1 radian. Eಷ್ಟಪ್ಪ 1 radian? If I want to know how much is 1 radian in degrees, we can calculate the value. Sarina? So in general, you will know that pi radians is 180 degree anta gottide, or 2 pi radians is 360 degree anta gottirutte. That is why for the circumference of a circle we have what formula? 2 pi r formula ide. Correct alla? So 2 pi means a complete circle, which is nothing but 360 degree. If I want to find out how much 1 radian is exactly in terms of degrees, we can find it out. Hege measure madadandre, we use a concept. ಏನು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ arc lengths are proportional to the angles subtended by them at the center. ಏನು ಇದರ ಅರ್ಥ? I'll put a very simple diagram and I'll make you understand. Say for example, I have a circle. I'll take a different circle ಈಗ. Let me say I have a circle. So ಈ circle ಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ? Let me say that I have this to be 10 degrees. I have this to be 10 degrees. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಒಂದು arc length ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತಾ? It will have a certain arc length. Now, if I cut the same arc length once more over here, ಈ arc length ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ arc length ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, whatever angle is subtended, again it's gonna be 10 degrees. If I have this arc length and if I want to cut an arc length 3 times of this andre, it is gonna be here. Then what is the angle gonna be subtended? It's gonna be thrice of that. Don't worry that 30 degree ಯಾಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡದಿದೆ ಅಂತ. I'm just explaining you what this means. Arc length ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, that is gonna be proportional to whatever the angle is subtended by that particular arc length at the center. So I will be using this concept in order to find out how much is 1 radian. Okay, now we know that if I have a circle, okay, so here we go. Okay, I'll put it here only. Okay, let me say that we have a circle. Ega, if I have a circle, and again in this circle what will I do? I will define or I will mark how much is 1 radian going to be. If I have to mark 1 radian, I will follow the definition of a radian. Sarina? Definition of a radian eshto? If I have radius of r, I will cut an arc of length r, then the angle formed at the center is gonna be 1 radian. I will call this arc as say, or I'll call this sector as OAB. Let me draw a perpendicular OC. OA is perpendicular to OC. Perpendicular automatically 90 degree ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So I will use the previous concept. Arc AB divided by arc AC, they are proportional to the angles. Arc AB ಎಷ್ಟು angle generate ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆ, produce ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆ? 1 radian. Arc AC ಎಷ್ಟು angle produce ಅಥವಾ generate ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆ? It's in terms of degrees. 90 degrees. We clearly know. Now arc AB by 1 radian, this can be written like this alva, equal to arc AC by 90 degrees. Clear? It can be written in this manner. Ega, arc AB, is it nothing but the length of arc AB? Is it nothing but the radius of the circle? Yes. So this is going to be r divided by 1 radian. And what about the length of arc AC? Arc AC is nothing but it is 1/4 of a circle. Correct alla? Circumference of a circle eshtiде? 2 pi r ide. And what about arc length of AC? It is just 1/4 of 2 pi r. It is what? 1/4 of 2 pi r whole divided by 90 degrees. So r and r gets cancelled and 1 radian will be equal to 90 degree divided by, what happens to this? This goes once, this goes twice. So 90 degree into 2 whole divided by pi ಆಯ್ತು. Correct alla? 90 degree. So 1 radian is nothing but equal to 180 degree by pi. 180 degree by pi. Pi value ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆಯಾ ನಮಗೆ? We know that pi is nothing but 22/7, approximately equal to 22/7. This is one of the conversions that you need to remember. 1 radian is equal to 180 degree by pi. That is one conversion. We'll go in detail and try to find out the answer. In answer, oh, what about 22 by 7? I told that pi is nothing but 22 by 7. And when I do this, I have to do what? I have to do 18 into 7. 18 into 7 is 7, 8, 56. 5, 7 ones are 7 plus 5, it's gonna be 13. Correct, Allah? It's gonna be 1360 whole divided by 22. Again, can I write it in a simplified format? Yes. I should what? I should divide 136 or 1360 by 22. I can write it as a mixed fraction. Yes, Allah hogutte nodana. 22 into 5 is nothing but 110. Correct, Allah? It's gonna be 110. Just one correction. This is gonna be 126 agutte. This is gonna be 126. Small mathematical error. It's gonna be 126. So this is gonna be 1260. 1260. Yes, sir, log 5 times is 110. What is remaining for me? 16 or 160 is remaining. Correct, Allah? How many times will it go with 160? 22 into 7 maybe. Check madana, how much is 22 into 7 gonna be? 22 into 7 is gonna be 7 to 14. 7 to 14 plus 1, 154. 7 times hogutte. 154. And how much is left out? 6 is left out. Correct, Allah? So I can write this as 57, 6 by 22. 57, 6 by 22. But again, what? It is in degrees. Everything is in what? Degrees. This is also in degrees. This is also in degrees. Okay. What can I do to this? I can convert it into what? 6 by 22 is there. If you want it in the simplified format, it's gonna be 57 degrees. 3 by 11 is there. 3 by 11 is there, which is in degrees. Can I write this in radians? Sorry, in minutes? Yes, it is possible to write it in minutes. It is possible to write it in minutes. I'll just erase the calculation part. We'll write it in what? I'll write it in minutes. When I write it in minutes, we know that 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes anta gottide. How much do I want? I want to check how much is 3 by 11 of a degree. How much is that gonna be equal to? So it's gonna be what? It's gonna be equal to 60 minutes into 3 whole divided by 11 agate. Correct, Allah? It is gonna be 60 minutes into 3 whole divided by 11 agate. Now, yeah, it's gonna be that way. So which is gonna be equal to 57 degrees. If I have now have what? I've converted into minutes. Correct, Allah? So ಎಷ್ಟು minutes agate? It is gonna be 11, 60 into 3, which is gonna be 180 minutes divided 180 by 11 minutes. This 180 by 11 na matte I should write it as a mixed fraction. Yes, Allah hogutte 180 by 11. Let me check. It's gonna go, how many? 11 is gonna once 11 agutte. What is left? 770. It's going 6 times 66 and 4 is remaining. So I can write it as 57 degree. If I write it in the form of a mixed fraction, yes, Allah hogutte 16 times hogutte. It's gonna be 16. Correct. And what about the fraction left? It's gonna be 4 by 11. This is it what? This is in terms of minutes. This is in terms of minutes. Matte what? I can convert it into seconds. I can convert 4 by 11 into seconds. So I have 1 radian to be equal to 57 degree, 16 minutes, and how much? 4 by 11 only. So 4 by 11 of a minute, which can be converted into second. How do I convert it into second? Same way. How 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes? 1 minute will be equal to how much? 60 seconds. So I have what? 4 by 11 is there. So it's gonna be 60 seconds into 4 by 11 agate. Correct, Allah? So if I do that conversion, it's gonna be equal to 57 degree, 16 minutes, 4 by 11 into 60. Now this is what? This is converted into seconds. This is converted into seconds. So we are closing, or we are reaching very close to the answer. So again I have to convert what? 4 by 11 and 4 into 60 ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? 240 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. I have to convert 240 in terms of seconds. So 11 divided by 240 ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? 11 goes twice with 22. 2 is left out, 20. It goes once, and 11, 9 is remaining. Let's not go further. So finally I can write 1 radian to be 1 radian to be approximately equal to 57 degrees, 16 minutes, and how many seconds? We have seen that it's gonna be close to 21 seconds. So 21 seconds. So this is how we are converting radians into. If in case you have a question how much exactly it is, and if you can't memorize, you have to solve this. Obviously you have to be fast. I'll explain ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು, so that's why it was slow. Okay, and you have to reach to this answer. Okay, now going ahead, now we have got to know what is gonna be radian measure and degree measure and how do we convert it. Let me take up a very simple example on the same. So in a type questions, these are easy questions which will be asked. So let's see what the question is about. So in kelidare, it says that you have to convert 45 degree 20 minutes into radians. Okay, yeah, you have to convert 45 degree 20 minutes in radians. So how do we do it? We know that 45 degrees, I'll use a different color, 45 degrees and 20 minutes, I have to convert it into degrees again. That's better. How do I convert it into degrees? I divide it by 60 minutes. When I divide it by 60 minutes, then this will be 45 degree and 1 by 3 of a degree, which is nothing but 45 degree plus 1/3 of a degree. Sarina? Because when it is degree, I can directly convert it into radians. So how much is this gonna be? This is gonna be 3 into 45 andre 135 ಆಯ್ತು. 136 degree divided by 3. 136 by 3 degrees ಆಯ್ತು. How do I convert into radians? Same thing. We know that 5 radians is equal to 180 degrees. Okay. How many radians will be 136 by 3 degrees? So I need question mark. So you have this to be equal to 136 by 3 into pi whole divided by 180. ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? It is gonna be 136 pi divided by 540. This is the answer going to be in radians. In case we have to reduce it, we can reduce it to the simplest fraction. Sarina? So this is how we face questions like this, where it is given that you have to convert from degrees to radians. I mean, bari degrees al kotiralla, they will give in minutes and seconds also maybe, and you can convert it into radians. So this was about the different types of measuring systems. And more importantly, we use what? We use pi. We use pi radians. We use the radian measure. Okay. And as discussed, pi radians is nothing but equivalent to 180 degree. This is what you need to remember. Ashtene Sarina. And this is equal to 360 degree. Based on this, if you know this, you can convert any degree to radians or any radians to degrees using the unitary method. So this is one set of problems that you come across. Next is, the next thing that you need to know is, clear? The next thing that you need to know is, I'll do it here. Yeah. So you need to know some information. Clock questions anta irutte. So ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ clock questions ಅಲ್ಲಿ exactly ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಒಂದು time ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, and whatever time is given, the question will be what is the angle between the minute hand and the hour hand anta question irutte. So let's see how do we face those kind of questions. So we know that in a clock we have 12 numbers, no doubt in that. So 12, 3, 6, 9. And obviously we have numbers here 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10 and 11. Now for a minute hand you need to know some information for this. This is the next type of questions we come across. So for a minute hand to cover 360 degrees, time it will take 1 hour, 1 hour, or it will take 60 minutes to cover how much? To cover 360 degrees. So in 1 minute, I'm talking only about what? Minute hand. So in 1 minute, how much angle is covered by the minute hand? It's gonna be 360 by 60. 360 by 60 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, which is gonna be how much? 6 degrees. So 1 minute ಅಲ್ಲಿ minute hand ಎಷ್ಟು angle cover ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? 6 degrees. Now let me go to the hour hand. Now for the hour hand, for one revolution, one complete revolution, 360 degrees ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು time ಬೇಕು? It will take how much? It will take 12 hours. We clearly know the hour hand will take 12 hours for one complete revolution. So 1 hour ಅಲ್ಲಿ How much will it cover? It will cover how much? 360 degree divided by 12, which is gonna be 30 degrees. We are talking about hour and 1 hour ಅಲ್ಲಿ 30 degrees cover ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Next what? I want to check in 1 minute how much is the hour and covering. 1 minute andre 60, sorry, 1 hour is nothing but 60 minutes. So 30 degree divided by 60 ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು I'll get what? Half a degree. This is what? In 1 minute our hand is covering how much? It's just moving half a degree. But minute hand in the same 1 minute it is covering how much? It's covering 6 degrees. So based on these we will start facing the question. So when it is say when the time is exactly 2 o'clock, exactly 2 o'clock, what is the angle between them? The angle is going to be 30 degrees plus 30 degrees. Yakandre I want this angle here. Sarina, and how much? Yeah, so we know that between every two numbers the angle is how much? Between every two numbers the angle is 30 degrees, because we have 12 numbers. 360 divided by 12 is nothing but 30 degrees. So when it is exactly 1 o'clock, the angle between them is 1 degree. Adhe thara 4 o'clock ide anta ankoli. What is the angle? 30 degree into 4, which is gonna be 120 degree. Tumba straightforward agide answer. But what if it is told that the time is 4:10 anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. What if the time is 4:10? So when the time is 4:10, is it obvious that the 4, is it exactly at 4? No, it's not at 4. It would have gone past 4. 4 ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇನ್ನ ಒಂಚೂರು ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ 10 minutes ಆಗಿದೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ? We use this information to find out the same. So for every 1 minute it moves by, the hour hand moves by half a degree. ಎಷ್ಟು minutes ಆಗಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? 10 minutes ಆಗಿದೆ. So 10 minutes ಅಲ್ಲಿ it would have moved how much? 10 into half degree, which is what? 5 degree ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ. The 4, it's not exactly at 4. 4 bitti it has gone 5 degrees forward. So what is the angle now? Between 2 to 3 the angle is 30 degrees. Between 3 to 4 the angle is 30 degrees. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎಷ್ಟು degree ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ? 4 bitti it has gone by 5 degrees. So the angle is going to be 65 degrees. These are the type of questions you will face from the clock problem. So this is the information that you need to know. Okay, now I think I have a problem for the clock. Yes, we have a problem for the clock. It is told at 10 o'clock what is the angle between the minute hand and the hour hand. So 10 o'clock adaga, always for clock problem it's better to draw a rough diagram. So 10 o'clock adaga, this is 2 and here is 10 for me. This is 10. So in a 10 bitti onchur munde hogirutte. We clearly know 10 bitti onchur ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ 10 minutes ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರಿನಾ. So for 10 minutes, in 10 minutes how much the hour hand would have moved by? For every minute the hour hand moves by half a degree. So for 10 minutes it moves ahead by 5 degrees. Now what is the angle from 10 to 2? The difference is 4. So it's gonna be 30 into 4, which is gonna be 120 degrees is the angle from 10 to 2. But what has happened? 5 degrees ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ, which means I need to subtract 5 degrees from this. 120 minus 5 will give me what? It will give me 115 degrees. ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ options ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ to confuse you. So with this concept you can do any kind of clock problem. Sarina? So we have discussed two important concepts where you come across or you might face some MCQ questions based on the same. So let me solve some problems now. So we'll solve some MCQ problems from competitive platform. So first ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? The perimeter of a certain sector of a circle is equal to half of that of a circle. Always better to draw a rough diagram. So a perimeter of a sector, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು sector the perimeter ಏನಿದೆ that is equal to half of the circumference of that particular circle. Let me say that this is the perimeter I'm talking about. R, and this is gonna be what? I don't know. How much is this? So I will call it as what? I will call it as S. From arc length formula, do we know S is equal to R into theta, where theta is in radians? Yes, this is my arc length formula. So this perimeter, they're telling that S plus R of this sector, perimeter of this sector is equal to what? It's equal to half of the circumference of the circle of the same circle, which is half of the circumference andre half into 2 pi r. They want you to find out what is the circular measure of the angle of the sector. So using the formula, this is nothing but theta radians. I have to find out what? How much is theta radians? So what will I do? I will substitute this as R into theta radians plus 2 times of R. is going to be equal to pi into r. If I take r as common, theta radians plus 2 is going to be equal to pi r. So r and r gets cancelled. What about theta radians? It's going to be equal to pi minus 2. Do we have that option? Yes. So that's going to be option C. Salpa careful ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಓದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು question. You have to be fast in solving the problems. Now we have one more tricky question. The number of times in a day where the hour and minute hand overlap. ಈಗ ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಲಿ ನೋ 12 o'clock exactly 12 o'clock ಗೆ both the minute hand and the hour hand are what? They are overlapping. But after 12 o'clock ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Say for example it is somewhere at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? For them to overlap 1 o'clock ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂಚೂರು ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿರುತ್ತೆ hour hand. Then minute hand will come ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಒಂದು 2 or 3 degrees ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. Then the hour hand will minute hand will come and it will overlap. Same way it happens at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Exact 2 o'clock overlap ಆಗಲ್ಲ. 2 o'clock ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ 10 minutes ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮುಂದೆ ಒಂದು 6 to 7 degrees ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿರುತ್ತೆ hour hand. Then the minute hand comes over there and it overlaps. So the same thing repeats until when? Until 10 o'clock this keeps repeating. 1 in the 10 ತನಕ this will keep repeating. ಆದರೆ 11 o'clock ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Say for example 10 o'clock ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. 10 o'clock ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 10 o'clock ಆದಾಗ when it should overlap ಅಂದ್ರೆ the hour hand would have almost come near 11. 11 touch ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ. It would have almost come near 11. And then the minute hand will come there and overlap. But once it crosses 11 o'clock, next overlap ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗೋದಂದ್ರೆ exactly when it is 12 o'clock ಆದಾಗಲೇ it will overlap. So there is no overlapping happening for only 11 o'clock. So in every 12 hours ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಲ overlap ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ? 12 ಇಂದ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 12 plus 12 ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1 times then 10 times 1 plus 10. So it is overlapping 11 times for every 12 hours. So one ದಿಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಲ overlap ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? 11 into 2 times. It's gonna overlap how many? 22 times in one day. So C is gonna be the answer. Done? So let's have a look at the next question. Here we go. So it says that the sum of the angles is 1 radian and the difference. So let the angles be say A plus B. A and B. Sum ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? 1 radian and the difference ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? 1 degree ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. You need to find out the lower angle, the smaller angle. Is it obvious? A minus B ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ B is going to be the smaller angle. It's very obvious. Correct ಅಲ್ಲ? So in order to find out B what? I will subtract one from the other. Subtract ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ A cancel ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 2 times of B is going to be equal to 1 radian minus 1 degree. Can I convert radians to degrees? Yeah, I want the answer in degrees. So how do I convert? Same thing. 180 degrees is equal to pi radians. 1 radian is gonna be equal to how many degrees? So since I want the question mark is gonna be equal to 180 by pi degrees. So let me go to that 180 by pi degrees. So ee ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು substitute ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ? I will substitute what? 180 by pi minus 1 degree. I want B, so it's gonna be half of this, which is gonna be 90 by pi minus half degree. I've just substituted 2. Do we have that option 90 by pi minus half degree? It's gonna be what? It's gonna be option A. Let me have a look at the next question. Sin x plus sin square x. Sin x plus what? Sin square x is 1 ante. Find the value of cos square x plus cos to the power of 4x. Now when sin x plus sin square x is equal to 1, can I write sin x to be equal to 1 minus cos sin square x? Yes. Always you have to look for what? Where you can use the identities. We know that sin square plus cos square is 1, alwa? How can I use that identity? You have to see if whether you will be able to use some identity or not. So here if I shift 1 minus sin square ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, which is nothing but what? Cos square x. So cos square x ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು sin x ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದು. So I have cos square x plus cos to the power of 4x is equal to how much? Cos square x na ಹಾಗೆ ಬರೀತೀನಿ. Cos to the power of 4x na can I write cos square the whole square? Yes. And what about cos square? I know that cos square is sin x. So it's gonna be sin x the whole square, which is nothing but sin square x. And what's cos square plus sin square? We know that the value is going to be 1. So the option is going to be A. Okay. Here we have one more question. 3 sin theta plus 4 cos theta is equal to 5 ante. Find the value of. Now if you look here, If I somehow write it in the form of sine square theta plus cos square theta, it is gonna be equal to 1. So what will I do? I will divide 5 on both sides. When I divide 5 on both sides, 3 by 5 sine theta plus 4 by 5 cos theta is equal to 1. So I've got the identity, which means this has to be what? This has to be sine theta and this has to be cos theta. Yake? Because we know that sine into sine becomes sine square, cos into cos becomes cos square, sine square plus cos square is 1. So sine theta ಎಷ್ಟಾಯಿತು 3 by 5 ಆಯಿತು, cos theta ಎಷ್ಟಾಯಿತು 4 by 5 ಆಯಿತು. I will substitute that. So ನಂಗೇನಿದೆ 4 sin theta minus 3 cos theta is what I need. 4 sin theta ಅಂದರೆ 4 into 3 by 5 minus 3 cos theta ಅಂದರೆ 3 into 4 by 5 ಎಷ್ಟಾಯಿತು? It's gonna be 12 minus 12 by 5. So the answer is going to be equal to what? It's gonna be equal to 0. Option idea? Yes, it's gonna be what? Option D. Okay. So one last question we'll discuss and we'll stop. Next, ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಈ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಇಟ್ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಲುಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟೆಡ್. ಗಾಬರಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಏನಪ್ಪ ಇಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಯೂಶ್ಲಿ ಟೆನ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಅಂದರೆ ಸೈನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರಲ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಾಡ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪೈ ಬೈ 2 ಮೈನಸ್, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕ್ವಾಡ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪೈ ಬೈ 2 ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಪೈ ಮೈನಸ್. So that is what you will be thinking of, but we should not go with that approach. It's very simple. Just in a fraction of a second you will get the answer. So what we'll do is, they have just asked the value of this particular expression. So let me take alpha to be equal to 0 degrees. Let me substitute alpha as 0 degrees. Again agutte, it will become 3 into sine to the power of 4, 3 pi by 2 minus 0 andre bari 3 pi by 2 plus sine to the power of 4, 3 pi plus 0 andre it's just 3 pi. Same way go to the next expression. Sine to the power of 6, pi by 2 plus alpha andre it's only pi by 2. Lastly, sine to the power of 6 andre it is just 5 pi minus alpha andre only 5 pi, because I have taken alpha. Let alpha be 0 degrees, because for any value of alpha the expression should hold good. Correct alla? So what happens now? Now you directly get the answer. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? 3 into sine to the power of 4, 3 pi by 2 andre minus 1. So you have minus 1 whole to the power of 4 plus any multiples of pi, integral multiples of pi, it is 0 for sine, minus 2 into, for pi by 2 it's gonna be 1, 1 to the power of 6 plus integral multiple it's gonna be 0, 0 to the power of 6. So you have 3 into 1 minus 2 and the answer is gonna be 1, option B. So this is how we try to quickly solve the problems. Thank you.